Hey guys, Chrono, and today I'm bringing to you a September 2020 post-BanList discussion with KCGAMEZ, Obeliskblue13, and a new duelist that's been doing well in our league, Diabolus. Hope you guys enjoy our thoughts on the new ban list that just dropped. Guys, this is Chrono. I'm back. We just finished our 14th online tournament, and I'm super excited to bring to you a ban list discussion. We had a fantastic one right before the ban list dropped, and I was pretty pleased with how accurate our two contributors were, which was Obeliskblue13 and KC Scott. Today, though, we're going to be talking again with Obelisk Blue. He just won our tournament, improving his tournament record again. So he was a perfect 4-0. And he also, I'm pretty sure, raised his win percentage. He's just an awesome duelist. And then rising in our group in a pretty significant way here is Diabolus, a fantastic duelist as well, who's had quite a bit of multiple top 3 finishes. So both of you, welcome very much to our channel.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome, awesome. So let's go ahead and get into the ban list. I was very pleased that there were hits this time. Last time, all we got was cards unlimited. So I was very happy about that. So let's go ahead and start with you, Obelisk Blue. What do you think the hits are going to do to the format?
So, off the top of my head, I think they're really going to change the format. I think Block Dragon being hit really pretty much knocks down Adamantimators. I don't see that becoming being a top tier deck anymore.
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, that was one of my questions. Do you feel that Adamantimator then is going to be more rogue?
Yeah, I think it will be rogue. I think it might be tier 2, but I think for the most part it's probably going to be rogue now.
Okay, okay. All right, what other hits there do you feel really, changed the meta quite a bit?
Jet Synchron being hit, and then Mecha Phantom Beast O-Line being hit really changes the meta because now a lot of the top decks can't go into that Helki Fibrax Aurora Dawn combo, and so that changes the format quite a bit, and it takes out a lot of the strong contenders. For example, one of the decks I have is an Eldritch Synchro deck.
Yeah.
So that really hurts my deck, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
That makes it pretty much unplayable.
I think that quite a bit as well. Diabolus, would you agree with that those hits of Jet Synchron and Olion really end up hurting quite a few decks that combo off? What's your thinking about that?
Absolutely, and I'm glad that Konami decided to hit it that way. Because it's very absurd to see the things that these decks can do. And, since Konami don't want to hit Halka Fibrax and Linkross and all those other degenerate cards because they're new, the best solution would be to hit things around it.
Yes, it's interesting you bring that up. I'm glad you touched on that. That was something that I was thinking about. I noticed not a single new card that came out in 2020 was hit. Now, why do you think that is, Diabolus? Expand on that a little bit.
It's not much to expand on. It's actually very simple, and it's because of money. They're trying to really, sell their product because we're not having a lot of events nowadays. So they're really, really trying to, steer people to buy the new thing.
Yes.
And it's funny because this is very equivalent to what they did to a ban list where they hit Plant Synchro.
Yeah.
To push people to buy other things, and this feels almost exactly the same way.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Carlos? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I have to agree, especially with one of the hits further down I really wanted to talk about. It's very obvious that this list was pretty much just made so that they could make money, which is really, really unfortunate because...
No, I agree with that. I'm laughing because it's the truth, but go ahead and continue.
I know, it's the harsh truth, and unfortunately, they care about money more than they actually care about the health of their game, because if they did care about the health of their game, they probably wouldn't have hit Call by the Grave.
Yes, yes.
And I'm going to go into a little bit of a rant, because that actually made me quite upset. Because
Yeah.
Call by the Grave was one of the few cards in the meta that was actually kind of checking. It had a check and balance kind of relationship with the meta, where it was keeping these hand traps in check. And so if you were playing a combo deck, you obviously you still are scared of hand traps, but you could have the a little bit of assurance almost if you had a Call by the Grave at 3, because you could see the Call by the Grave and potentially stop hand traps.
Absolutely.
Mind you, Call by the Grave doesn't even stop every single hand trap.
Right.
So it's like it wasn't degenerate. It was really healthy for the game. It was promoting back and forth kind of gameplay, and instead Konami decided to limit it all because they wanted to sell 2 cards. Because Triple Tactics Talent wasn't selling as well as they wanted it to, and they wanted to sell that. And then they want to sell Crossout Designator, which is a better version of Call by the Grave all around.
Yes, I agree.
To me, is a joke.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that, and it bothered me because I really feel that Called by the Grave is an extremely well-made card. I think that it's very balanced, honestly. And for them to go ahead and take it away, to me, made me feel that they definitely want to have more interaction. And like you're also saying, have more products selling. And I get why they do that. They do need to make money. But when you're talking about players who are going to buy these cards anyways, I feel that hurts the budget players the most. So Diabolus, how do you feel about that? Do you feel that if you're a budget player, this is kind of like a slap in the face?
Actually, yes, because I am a budget player.
Me too.
A lot of budget decks. I play Unchained. I play Felgrand. I play a bunch of budget decks that nobody sees coming. Like I played Ancient Warriors, True Dracos, like stuff like that. I play things that are really under the radar and are very cheap because I'm not spending a lot of money on a card game. And I do feel like Call by the Grave being hit really does hurt the budget players a lot because it forces them again to buy future products.
Yeah.
And I think I had another loss.
Oh no, you're okay. You're okay. No, I agree with that. That's definitely something that bothers me. And this brings me to another point that I have, which is I think there were some missed opportunities with this ban list. Carlos, coming back to you, what were some missed opportunities that probably should have happened for the state of the game?
Yeah, so just thinking back to the discussion I had with you and Casey, Mystic Mine was a card we kind of targeted in on that we thought was degenerate, and they didn't touch it at all. They didn't even limit it to 1, which is pretty disappointing.
Yes.
The Dragon Buster Destruction Sword, I think is what it's called. I called it Buster Whelp last time.
Yes.
Watching it back, I realized it was.
Yeah, I realized it too once I already had it up there. Yeah, but yeah, this was another missed opportunity for this one because I mean this shuts down so much stuff, and to me again, they know that Union Carrier is going to be something that's going to sell product, and I just feel like that was left on there to continue the sells, which is very disheartening because if we're talking about true health of the game state, right? We should make sure that we're hitting the right cards, and that's one that really should have been hit. Same thing with the Mystic Mine, and I like how you put this last time, Carlos. You don't necessarily have to have a lot of skill to play this card, because all you got to do is bait out the right negate, and then after that, you just smack this down, and now everything's done. Everything's shut down for your opponent. Carlos, how do you feel about that? Or not Carlos, Diabolus.
Me personally, I don't see anything wrong with Mystic Mine.
Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, I gotta hear why. Why are you fine with that?
Then again, I am kind of biased because I have played Mystic Mine in the past. But the thing with Mystic Mine that makes it, the reason why people don't like it because it forces them to pretty much muddy the consistency of their deck to, out the card. And to some degree, after really analyzing it and, looking at everything else, I do agree that Mystic Mine is a really degenerate card. However, there are ways nowadays to combat it, especially if you're going up against, a Mystic Mine deck. And I've experienced it many times where people have, baited me into doing something and lightning storming everything. We just got Harpy's Feather Duster back, so that's a way to deal with it.
Okay, and now that's a great point. I was wondering, how much do you feel, guys, that this is going to change the meta, having Harpy Feather Duster back in? Continue your thought with that, Diabolus. Do you feel that this is going to be played a lot? Do you feel that like it's a common staple that everyone's going to have in the side deck?
Me personally, I feel like people are just going to play it just because they can play it now. They won't really they won't really analyze it for what it is and actually look at the competitive viability of it. Like we have cards like Lightning Storm, which is very more versatile than Harpy's Feather Duster. It's very more versatile.
It's also $100 card. So.
Yes. Which is such a good point.
It is $100 card. It is. I agree with you. It is $100 card. But look at the prices of Featherstorm now. It's kind of. I mean, not Featherstorm, Feather Duster. It's almost the same way. I mean, it's a little bit down. It's like maybe like 30. Some of them are up to like $1,000, $2,000.
Right, for the very special rarity.
That's the World Championship version. So I
don't think is it really? I just thought it was a tournament pack. I did not realize that. Oh wow!
Yeah, let me check. This is tournament pack one.
I thought it was tournament pack. Yeah, because I saw the price of that Diabolus and it was like over 1,000, and I'm going, no. Like I thought, there's no way. But yes, but and that's a really good point though, that this is cheaper. And I do think for budget players, especially if you just happen to find one in someone's bulk, or you went to a card store and you picked this up real cheap for a few cents, this is something that you can at least substitute in for the replacement of the Lightning Storm. So I do like it in that way. But again, I just don't know how much it's going to end up being used. What decks do you like?
Effect?
Yeah, go ahead.
Me personally, I feel like it's going to get the Raigeki effect because we have decks nowadays that use a lot of back row. Yeah, that's cool and all, but I feel like eventually, with time as the format changes and stuff, we might see this card being unplayable like Raigeki because again, Lightning Storm just fills up the same role.
Yeah.
Actually, it does both at the same time.
Yeah. But there are some conditions, though, with the Lightning Storm that I feel does hold people back. So, for example, you can't control any face-up cards. So, I mean, I think that in itself could be a problem. Carlos, what's your thinking on that?
Yeah, so I want to start off by saying, I was really hoping that Casey would be on so I could talk to him about Lightning Storm, because his reaction was absolutely priceless last time.
Oh, I know, because he said he'd rather have Raigeki at 3. Yeah.
But in terms of the actual card, I definitely see it. I definitely see it in the meta, and I definitely see it being played heavily. My thought process is it's a cheaper alternative to Lightning Storm, like you said.
Yeah.
And for back row heavy decks, I know we don't see it very much in the meta nowadays, but like if you're playing against altar guys, Harpy's Feather Dust is a really nice card to have in your side deck as a one of, just so you can side it in and hopefully see it, and so you can just blow that back row player out.
Right. And oh dear. Sorry, someone's calling me, guys. Hold on. I don't know who's calling. Oh, it's Casey. He's joining the call. Are you there?
Hello.
Can you all hear us? Wait, are you still there, Casey?
I was just going to say add me.
Okay, hang on. Okay, he wants to be added, guys. Hold on.
Recording?
Yeah, it's still recording. You're still here. Hold on. Okay. So Casey, I think is like, I got to talk about this. Okay, he must be feeling better. Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Let me see if he's in. Are you there, Casey? Can you hear us?
I can hear.
Okay, you're there. Now, Casey, we were just talking about Lightning Storm, or not Lightning Storm, Feather Duster. Do you have a comment you want to mention about this?
Duster still shouldn't have came back.
And why should it have not come back?
I mean, I feel like it's all right with what they did, with everything that they did. But, I mean, my guess is they brought it back because they want to push Gold Series or something that they're putting it in.
There was a leak that came out like 1 or 2 months ago that leaked the whole Gold Series, and Harpy's Feather Duster was one of the cards that they were reprinting in it. So
was it really?
I'm thinking that leak was probably accurate, and I think we're probably going to get a reprint of it, and they just wanted to push that product.
Okay. Well, people are going to buy it. Yeah. So that's a pretty good reprint if that is going to be there.
Especially considering they just reprinted Appaloosa, and Appaloosa was supposed to be the thing that was going to sell Gold Series.
Yeah.
But since that got a reprint, the Megaton needed a card to kind of take the front and center position.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, and this goes back to what you and Diabolus were saying earlier, Carlos. There we go, selling that product, right? Making sure that we're getting things sold. Which, with where we are right now with COVID-19, I do see why they're trying to push products, because they do need to make sure that they are making money. I mean, I do understand that. But again, when you're talking about competitive, healthy game state, I'm just not sure. But Carlos, you had mentioned in our previous video in the OCG, this has been around for a while. Has it had a huge impact over there?
It's pretty much doing what I said I thought it would do. It's seeing a lot of side deck play. Some people are main decking it, so it's not having a drastic impact.
Okay.
But it's definitely showing up in the competitive list.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to something that I was very surprised with. And that's that dinosaurs did not get hit at all. Diabolus, what do you think about that? Are you surprised first that it didn't get hit?
Actually, yes, I am, because I was pretty sure that it was going to get hit, because Miscellaneousaurus is a ridiculous card.
Absolutely it is, yes. Okay, so
it literally says that you can't interact with them. You can't interact with the dinosaur.
Right.
And you can't do anything with them. So they're just free to play. And that kind of takes out the interaction that you may want to do in your opponent's turn to get it pretty much like undermines playing hand traps.
Yeah.
It undermines playing stuff like impermanence. Like it really just makes all that useless.
Absolutely.
So I feel like Miscellaneousaurus should have been hit at the very least to 1, because that's, again, I say that's utterly ridiculous that they're allowed to just play freely, and it's searchable.
Yes, absolutely.
A hand trap that pretty much says, "Oh, here, play for free."
Yes, I agree with that, especially with the Called by the Grave limited to 1. That's less chances for you to shut that deck down. Casey, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I'm personally going to enjoy it.
Because I know you are a dinosaur player, but for the competitive state of the game, do you think that was the best move?
Terrible. It was terrible, and also it just goes to show how bad the U.S. Partners are for Konami in terms of playtesting, because they pushed all this Burning Abyss stuff, and if I start off with Ultimate Conductor and I flip your first monster face down, good luck playing.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Everything starts to become more difficult. So now that we know that dinosaurs are untouched, Carlos, would you say that they are a tier 0 deck or tier 1?
Tier 0, no, because that has to just be a completely different level. But tier 1, definitely, I think. I think, like Casey mentioned, I think Phantom Knights, Burning Abyss are probably going to start rising up the tiers. I think that's going to see a lot of meta play because they unlimited, or they unbanned Rusty and they put it to 1.
Absolutely.
So I see that definitely being in the meta. Dinos as well. I feel like people are going to try to play test different versions of Eldritch now. That engine is still really, really strong, so I don't see that going anywhere anytime soon.
Right.
Right. Well, yeah, of course.
Just teasing.
Casey, if you could also, when you are talking, just to be a little bit louder, just because I'm having a harder time hearing you, but I'm still very happy you're here. You're fine. But Carlos, keep going with your thought.
Yeah, but off the top of my head, those were 3 decks that I thought were going to be really powerful in the format.
Yes. What about Dragon Link? Sticking with you here, Carlos, do you think that's still going to be around?
Well, actually, I'm really, really glad you mentioned that, because I do think that's going to be a really, really strong deck in the meta. But they actually didn't hit anything. If I'm not mistaken, they didn't hit anything that stops the Dragon Link FTK.
Yes, that surprised me.
That was really surprising, because typically when there's an FTK in the meta, they like to basically hit it and stop it, but they really didn't hit the FTK, which is pretty surprising.
Yes, I was very surprised by that as well. Casey, how do you feel about that with Dragon Link being untouched? Were you surprised?
In a way, it got touched because it was using call by, I'm pretty sure, because most of the things that you need to stop the FTK with are called by Obel.
Oh, okay, okay.
So, in a sense, I mean, in some of them, I haven't seen an FTK list in quite some time, actually.
Okay.
But I know most of the other ones, they're playing just so many extenders that they're playing a 60-card deck, and they just, I mean, the call buys were just buried anyway.
Yeah.
So if we're giving that kind of equation, then I would assume you can still FTK pretty easily, even though you don't have called by.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm really twisted on it because, like, the deck goes first, sure, but I mean, then it's a dice roll.
Yeah.
I suppose you could side out the FTK part of it because it's only like what, 2 additional cards or something like that.
Yeah, something pretty small.
And then you could just make it just the regular going second version of it or something. If so, yeah, I don't know what to say about it, to be honest. I'm not a Dragon Link player. I don't know the combos in and out. I mean,
I get that. Yeah,
I know what you can do with a Red Eyes, or not Red Eyes, the Black Metal Dragon. I know what you can do with that part.
Yeah.
That alone is pretty insane. But yeah, as far as it goes, yeah, they probably should have hit something. They should have hit the Exploder Dragon or whatever it's called.
The rocket tracer. Yeah.
Yeah, they should have probably hit that.
Well, I don't think so. I think they probably should have just hit the Earthbound Immortal, because no one's playing Earthbound Immortals.
Okay, so Diabolus, touch on that, because both you and Carlos had the same thought there. Why hitting those instead?
Because in regards to Dragon Link, a part of Dragon Link is Rockets, and you take a card from Rockets just because of an FTK. I feel like Rockets are a fan favorite deck.
Yes.
They appeared in Brains. They sold a lot. They're competitively viable.
Yeah.
Even at the purest form of Rockets. So I feel like taking away Exploder Rocket, which is in a deck that I already said is a fan favorite, it's not the good route. Seal of Peacekeeper, nobody's playing it. Nobody's really main decking it. I guess the FTK, it was a niche thing that somebody found, and some mad lad explored it a little bit. So I feel like the Seal of Peacekeeper would be the hit, so that you don't kill a fan favorite deck.
Oh, that makes sense to me. Yeah, I do get that. Yeah,
that's like almost saying, let's hit tuning so that Jet Synchron is not searchable. Well, then you hurt the Synchron deck.
Right.
Which is a fan favorite.
Yeah.
So it's best to just hit the Jet instead of hitting tuning, so that we don't hurt other decks in the process.
See, and I like that thinking. Carlos, do you feel that way as well, based on conversations we've had last time of you don't like to see decks get hit very much? I mean, would you agree with that thinking?
Absolutely. That was one of the things. That was one of the reasons I was suggesting we hit at the if Dragon Links were getting hit, which I suggested, you should have hit the Earthbound Immortal, just because the Rocket deck, as a pure kind of deck, isn't fundamentally broken, and I don't want to see the deck take hits just because someone found an FTK.
Absolutely. You had touched on Burning Abyss. So do we feel that this is going to move more into the tier 2 spot, or do you think it has the potential to move tier 1? What's your thoughts on that, KC? What do you think?
For Burning Abyss, it's more like a Phantom Knights, mixture. Whatever they used to call it. What, PK Fire, I think, is what they call it. Anyway, it's solid tier 2 deck. I mean, it might be considered tier 1 based on playability, like how many people are going to play it at first. But I mean, without any big events, you can't really classify it as tier 1, in my opinion.
Okay.
Just because the majority isn't going to be there. Like we don't see a majority because we don't have any events. But to be real, Orcus is the deck to worry about with Rusty Barty.
Yeah, that was something I wanted to bring up. Yeah, absolutely. So, Diabolus, coming back to you, when it comes to Rusty coming off, do you feel that this is a problem?
Yes, it's going to be a problem.
Why do you feel it's going to be so degenerative?
Be a problem. It is a problem.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, expand on that for us. Go ahead.
Because it's the same thing with, well, not almost the same thing, but it's almost similar to the miscellaneous stuff. It pretty much just makes sure that your opponent can't really do anything. There's no way to respond. There's no way to interact on their turn. It's just, I just feel like it's not a good card. If the materials were not generic, and, just called for Phantom Knight monsters.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, invite it to the party. But the fact that it's generic, and Orcus can already use a bunch of generic dart stuff that are very degenerate. I just feel like this. Yeah, it's gonna sell. What is it? Phantom Rage. Yeah, it's gonna sell that for a little bit.
Yeah.
But it really shouldn't have been let off the list.
Well, and that's interesting you bring that up, because that's what Carlos and Casey had brought up as well. They had said almost exactly what you're saying here. And I do feel that it's going to be an issue. Carlos, do you see it getting hit again after it's gotten some play?
Absolutely. After it finishes selling the product, I think they're probably going to hit it again. I just wanted to bring up a point. Casey, I know you talked about giving Harpy's Feather Duster an errata last time we talked, and I didn't agree with it. I feel like Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardiche is probably the perfect card to get an errata. I feel like he said, if you lock it into Phantom Knights, the card is a great card for that deck. But the fact that it's just so generic, it doesn't, it doesn't help. So like, if I'm Konami and I really want to obviously they're not going to give it an errata because they want to sell the new set. But if they actually cared about the health of the game and they actually wanted that card to be unbanned, they'd probably give it an errata.
Oh, I like that thinking. What do you think about that, Casey?
Yeah, I agree. That's good.
Yeah, I think that just makes so much sense, because if we could lock it in, then the card becomes fair. I feel that it would be something that would be good for the Phantom Knight archetype, and that way you don't have a crazy engine like Orcus taking just ridiculous amounts of advantage with it. So that is definitely something that I would like to see happen. Speaking of changes, though, when we have Jet Synchron getting hit, we've got Lion getting hit. Casey, have you thought of substitutes that players are going to put in instead of those cards to get their combos off?
I wouldn't say that I thought of them, but yeah, I have found some things. So,
okay. What are some things that you've noticed already?
So they're relying more heavily on Despot 001. So there is still an Auroradon combo. I forget which Mecha Phantom Beast it is, but it's a level 4.
Okay.
Any of you guys know the name by chance?
Not off the top of my head. Is it a tuner? I can look it up.
No, it's not a tuner. It just brings out 2 more tokens.
Was it Tetherwolf?
Yeah, I think it's Tetherwolf.
Yeah, Tetherwolf? Like it's a Phantom Knight, guys?
Mecha Phantom Beast.
Mecha Phantom Beast, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, so what happens is you do your regular play. Needle Fiber brings out your Despot 001. And then you go into your Link Cross, you do your Martial Metal Marcher, blah, blah, blah. Same regular stuff that you would. You go into your Auroradon, you get your 3 tokens, you get the Despot 001 back. So then what you do is you need to synchro off the 001. So you can go ahead and make your Herald. I believe this is where they're going with it.
Okay.
You make your Herald, and then you pop 1 token. This leaves a level 3 token out, and then I'm trying to remember spacing.
You're fine.
Maybe they go into a level 7. I don't exactly remember what they're doing with it, but basically what they do is they summon the Tether Wolf from the deck with the Auroradon. And when he comes out, he creates 2 more tokens, which will trigger the Despot 001.
Gotcha.
And then, so then you get a bigger, so a level 3, the level 4, and a level 1 tuner would equal the Savage Dragon. So you can still get Savage and Herald.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
So it's still available. Outside of that, I've been looking into Recover.
Okay.
Myself.
Oh yeah.
I know Adamantipator was a deck that people were looking at where they would just play a lesser extra deck. They literally, there's been talk about literally not playing 15 cards in their extra deck just to play Recover. So if do you have it pulled up?
I don't know if I'm looking at the right one. Is it Recover, the psychic monster?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that's what you meant, but go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, your opponent has to have more cards than you in the extra deck by 5.
Gotcha.
So, you play 11, and then you make the Needle Fiber. You bring out Recover, and now you're live.
Wow! Wow!
Play 12.
So
you can play 12.
This is what worried me. You know, when Firewall Dragon came out, there was all these hits that were done to it, or that they thought were going to hit it. And players being as crafty as they are, and they're always thinking of ways around other cards. Are we looking at Halki Falbrax or Needle Fiber being the same issue that we have with Firewall Dragon? What do you think about that, Carlos?
Yeah, so absolutely, it's very, very similar in the fact that it's the problem, and they just refuse to hit it because there's a future product coming out. I think it's a binder or something that has Crystron Halki Fibrex on it. It won a poll in Japan, and because of that, we're getting like a whole series of like products geared towards that one card. And I guess the thinking is the product isn't going to sell if it's banned, so they're trying their hardest to not ban it. Something I did want to mention real quick, just before we get off topic and we miss it, a card that they didn't hit on the list that is absolutely degenerate that they really, really should have hit is Smoke Grenade of the Thief.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I can't believe they did not hit this card. So let's talk about that. Continue your thought with that, Carlos. Why is it just crazy that they didn't hit this?
Yeah, so obviously we know hand loops aren't good for the game, and a hand loop that you can pull off so easily in the meta, especially considering they took care of they took care of one of the most powerful decks in the meta in Adamantipator's by banning Block Dragon.
Yep.
I feel like they should have also taken care of Inferno Noble Knights.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely they should have. Anything that makes it so difficult for your opponent to play is ridiculous to me. How do you feel about that, Diabolus? Do you feel that this was something that should have definitely been outright banned?
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, I was very shocked that they did not target this card at all. I'm like, man, Konami is really trying to sell product because, this is very degenerate. And the fact that they can bring it back with the Vylon Sphere and then just do it over and over again. There's a guy at my locals that plays this exact deck, and he ripped out 4 cards out of my starting hand.
Oh.
And then left me with 2.
Oh, and doesn't that feel so awful? I hate that when that happens to me. I can't do anything. It's
exactly. And he ended up on Savage with the Charles guy. Herald of the Arclight, and just a slew of things. And it's like, dude, how are we supposed to play? How are even us as competitive players, how are we supposed to play with something like this running around in the game?
Absolutely.
It's very degenerate.
And this is an old card. That's the thing that gets me as well here. This isn't something that's super new. And, you know, it just makes sense if it's an older card getting rid of it. But to me, it would mean that Konami's got an agenda. Oh, this is going to sell our product. Casey, do you think that's the reason this was left like this?
I actually like to blame it on lack of their testing, because they have let that card go for so many years. They just never think it's that good. I don't know what it is. But
yeah,
this has been around for formats, and this isn't the first time that they're abusing this. Okay?
You're kidding me. So this has happened before.
Not nearly as consistent, but yes.
Oh, that's so hard for me to hear. If you know it's a problem, take care of it.
My opinion, I believe, like, if they didn't want to hit this card because it's for some whatever reason, if they didn't want to hit it, they had to hit Link Ross so that you could stop all the combos that Infernal Noble Knights are doing. And I don't know why the OCG pretty much banned Link Ross as soon as it came out. For some reason, the TCG just does not want to ban Link Ross, and it might be because they're just not they suck at playtesting, or it might just be because Eternity Code is still on shelves, and they need to move that somehow. And that's probably what I would guess.
Okay. Awesome job, guys. Here, such an interesting discussion. Let's now move to some things that I am happy about, especially ABC Dragon Buster coming back to 2. Carlos, we'll continue with you here. How do you feel about this coming back?
I absolutely agreed. I know me and Casey talked about ABC Dragon Buster and Totally Awesome being unfairly targeted on the last ban list, and
yes.
So obviously they brought both of them back to 2. I think they would have been fine at 3, because they're not going to see super large amounts of meta play, and they're not overly busted. But the fact that they have them at 2, at least the deck becomes a lot more consistent, and they got their boss monster back. So that's really cool for them.
Absolutely. Casey, I know you've been play testing with this a little bit. Does ABC Dragon Buster become almost a little busted, possibly, based on builds that you've been working with? If it's at 2.
It was busted at 1.
Now, maybe with your build, but why do you think it would become busted at 2?
I don't. I think it's a solid tier 2 deck.
Okay.
I think, especially without Call by the Grave, there's tons of hand traps that hurt it. I mean, getting your gadget veilered, anything to stop you from going like crazy. That's the one thing I do like about Call by the Grave being away. It kind of makes sense for right now that they kind of want us to step away from combo-eccentric decks. Maybe that's why they left Noble Knights alone. I don't know. Just so that it would be the only combo deck that pretty much people wanted to play. But they didn't do enough testing with the needle fiber stuff. So that would be why I think the format's kind of in like chaos mode at the moment.
Okay, I like the way you put that. Do you, Diabolus, would you agree with that? Do you feel the format is kind of almost in chaos mode?
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like the end times.
All right, so
like
please explain why to me. That's hilarious.
I just feel like, a lot of things are just wrong with the game. And it's so apparent, but people just, accept that it's wrong. Like, a lot of things are just, I don't know. That's the best way to describe it. It's just wrong.
No, I get that. There's times I've definitely felt that way. Like, why does this exist?
Absolutely.
No, I do get that. I am excited that these cards I am excited about ABC Dragon Buster. Totally Awesome, I'm not so sure about, just because I feel that's a pretty powerful card. We discussed this last time. Diabolus, I didn't get to hear your take on this, though. What do you think about Totally Awesome coming back?
I mean, me personally, I always hated frogs, both in the game and real life. I never really liked frogs.
You know, I'm pretty sure, Diabolus, you and I see things in a similar light, being budget players. But just keep going, though. I'm enjoying the thought.
But me personally, I need to see frogs in action, like in this format. I need to see them in action before I really give a verdict on them. But before I see anything, like, my verdict is okay. They're there. I just want to see what they can do.
I like that approach.
I feel like it's annoying. It's very annoying to deal with because it can take your card. Let's say if you lightning storm to bait out something, it can take it and then just set it. That's so that's annoying. But I'm okay with Totally Awesome being back in the format. It'll definitely shake things up.
See, and I really like that approach of let's put it in and see what happens. I really like that because that's what I think about with the Harpy's Feather Duster. Let's put it in. Let's see what it does. And so I do like that approach. Same thing with Double Iris Magician. I really thought, honestly, this could have went back to 3. What do you guys think about that? Carlos, with you, how do you feel about Double Iris? Could it have been unlimited? Do you think it would have changed the meta too much? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
So first of all, I'm glad it came off the list. Just because, like we talked about last time, Pendulums needed some kind of support. They just needed something because they weren't seeing any meta play at all.
Absolutely.
Do I think it could have came back to 3? Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's overly broken. I know Double Iris plus the Trap is pretty cool, but there are things that in the meta that are way more powerful and do way more degenerate things. So
absolutely,
I think it could have probably come back to 3.
Absolutely. KC, thoughts on that as well?
Yeah, it probably could have came back to 3 because the Trap actually helps Pendulums out the Red Eyes Dragoon.
Oh, really? Let's talk about that, please. Okay, so how do we do that?
So the Trap sends without targeting.
Oh, really?
Blow things up. So you target one of yours, and you target. So basically, it either baits out Dragoon's effect or it outs Dragoon. So
I did not know that.
It can't be destroyed. So like, you just go to target something that can't be destroyed, and then resolve the effect to send, and you just send Dragoons.
What is the name of that trap again, guys? I forget.
Time Pendulograph.
Thank you. Okay, so walk me through that one more time. That's amazing.
So, I don't know the exact wording, but this is just, I know the last part of it where it just, if it doesn't destroy both cards, it can send anything with not targeting.
It does say that. It says, if this effect did not destroy 2 cards, you send 1 card on the field to the graveyard. Oh, that's awesome.
So it actually outs Dragoons for Pendulums. So yeah, I could have enjoyed seeing Iris come to 3 to be able to out one of the hardest monsters to out right now.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Also, just to touch on Call By real quick.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't know, you can Call By Red Eyes in the graveyard like the normal monster because the fusion spell makes Red Eyes Dragoon Red Eyes, and then it would just be negated.
Oh, no way. I did not know that either. Oh, my gosh. That is just crazy.
But it's hit the 1, so.
Right. Oy. See, because I think Dragoon is going to be such a problem card.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm seeing it everywhere. I've already had people in our Discord messaging me privately that it's popping up.
Have you guys... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. What were you going to think with your thought there?
Have you guys messed with or talked about King of All Calamities yet?
We have not. No. That's the next subject I want to talk about is where do we feel Konami really messed up this ban list? So, Casey, go ahead and continue your thinking with that. Go ahead. Where did they really mess it up?
So, why is King of All Calamities still here?
Yeah.
At least not at 1. I mean, I do understand most decks will just play it at 1, but do something. Acknowledge the card existing because it's a super rare and it doesn't really have any like higher rarities or anything, and literally it doesn't push their product. They have given up on True Kings and whatever, just get rid of the card. It is crazy, way better than Zexal is, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
In terms of dealing with it. And not to mention, you can still do the stupid needle fiber Auroradon stuff and get into a King of all Calamities and a Herald, which means your opponent can't even just activate Droplets.
Jeez, so Pete's, wow. Wow. That is such a problem.
Can you repeat that? Because Droplets, you're not able to respond if you send the same type of card.
You can't, because of Herald, you can't send from your hand because of the
cost. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Gosh, that is just ridiculous, people.
So you legit just can't stop King of all Calamities if Herald is next to it.
Oh, that is just sick. Diabolus, how do you feel about that?
All this just says to me is that True King Dinos will be tier 1 because now they have Miscellaneous Swords, which says you can't do nothing to us. And now they were the ones who were able to consistently bring out the FD first. If I'm not mistaken. So you have a deck that's able to consistently bring out True King of all Calamities on top of needle fiber shenanigans, and it's just this is just a horrible time to play Yu-Gi-Oh. You know?
Unless you're the Dino player or the True King Calamities player. That's I like the way you put that. Carlos, thoughts?
Like I said last week, I like VFD. I don't know. There's just something. I know it's not fair. I know it probably should get hit. I just like the card.
I do like how cheap the card is. I will say that, being a budget guy, because it's literally less than 50 cents. It's dirt cheap. So I do appreciate that. Huh?
Which is why it's bannable.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's like you said, it's not pushing product. Yes. I was really, really, really disappointed that Trickstar Light Stage did not come off this list.
I was very upset about that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's weird.
Because it got hit because of Orcus, and
right.
It took care of Orcus Harpour. And, the primary card that was the enabler for that was Nightmare Mermaid, and that's been hit.
Yes.
What, going on 3 ban lists now?
Yes.
And just the fact that they don't realize that, or just they continue to ignore it, it really sucks, because, Trickstars are a really fun kind of casual deck that a lot of people like because they're in the Vrains anime.
Absolutely.
And give us our Trickstar Light Stage back.
Yes, and I think a lot of the players, like you're saying, love the deck. So it goes back to what you were saying, Diabolus, where rockets are super popular because it was part of V-Rains. It helped sell a lot of product. I know players love that burn effect with Light Stage. I know I do. I play tons of decks like this. So how did you feel about that not coming off the list?
Me personally, as a control deck player, I'm okay with it not coming back, because look at things like Eldritch or Altergeist. They play, a lot of back rows. And Trickstar Light Stage says that you can target one of them, and if they can't activate it, it just goes to the grave. It's just done. So I feel like, Light Stage would definitely impact a lot of those decks that they're trying to sell. Again, especially Eldritch, since it hasn't had a lot of competitive play, in real life. So I'm okay with it being where it is. I mean, it could come back. I don't see it making a big difference with it coming back. But I'm indifferent.
Oh, no, and that's fine. And that's what I want. I do want different viewpoints. That's why I appreciate these chats. I thought if they activate Light Stage, can't you respond with your trap right away if it's able to activate? Is that right or is that wrong?
Depending on the trap. If it's like one of the if it's like Conquistador of the Golden Land, you could activate the trap before they target it and then pop something face up, or if it's Huaquero. So I like, as an Eldritch player, I don't mind it, because like he says, it obviously targets it and makes it unable to activate, but most of the most of the besides the counter trap, most of the Eldritch trap cards can actually be activated anytime. get a banish or a pop. So to me, it doesn't really affect Eldritch that much. I think it's more just a rogue strategy, and it would just kind of make the player base happy.
Oh, see, I like that. Yeah. I like it when we think about making rogue ideas and then helping the entire player base. I like that a lot. Casey, where do you think they messed it up on the ban list?
Well, I thought you were starting with me about the King of all calamities. That should have been gone.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right. So yeah, I mean, all across the board, they did okay changes. They did leave a lot to be desired, in my opinion. We'll just see where it takes us. But I did want to just correct one thing earlier.
Sure.
I forget which one of you said it. It was Diabolus. Sorry. So it's not True King Dino anymore. They just bring out Jurek Titano with the pill, and then they make the Crocosaurus synchro. That's what dinos do. To make
all the more reason to hit it.
It's just way more simple, is what I was saying.
I love it. Oh my goodness, you guys cracked me up.
Yeah, it just sucks.
Carlos, where did they mess it up? Where could they have been better here?
Just so off the top of my head, the list was fine. I mean, it was okay. It hit some things that needed to be hit, like Block Dragon primarily, Jet Synchron and O-Lion. I guess definitely needs to be hit. But they just really missed Smoke Grenade of the Thief, obviously, like I mentioned before, and then the Call by the Grave. I'm not getting over that. That like it's fundamentally fair, and it fundamentally helps balance the game.
Yeah,
and they limit it to one. I don't understand.
Yeah, totally get it. I agree. I'm pretty upset about that one too. How about you, Diabolus? Where did they get it all wrong?
I would have to agree. Smoke Grenade of the Thief. That's actually probably the last thing, that's addressable that you would, want to address is that people taking stuff out of, taking stuff out of your hands.
Yeah.
That's just totally unfair. Then at that point, how do I play?
Absolutely.
Do I play with 2 cards? How do I? And then they can see what's in your hand on top of that. They get to look at it and then just snipe things out. And it's just, they should have hit that. They definitely should have hit this card.
So I was playing recently in Lafayette. And Casey was actually there. And during, I think it was my first round matchup, I was going against Inferno Noble Knights. And he was comboing off. And I didn't have any hand traps. But I had Call by the Grave in my hand, which I was like, awesome. I get to stop my opponent's play.
Oh, no.
I was like, he's just gonna rip the Call by the Grave all out of my hand. And I had full combo with Eldritch Synchro.
Oh.
But he ripped the Call by the Grave, and then I just had to scoop because there was nothing I can do. So situations like that shouldn't occur when you specifically prep for a deck and have a counter to it, but the counter can be ripped out of your hand.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Yeah, I completely agree. That was it for the questions that I had. Are there any other thoughts you guys have that we haven't touched on?
Pantheism of 3.
Yeah, we haven't touched on Pantheism yet.
Oh, okay. Yes, okay. Let's go ahead and talk about that. That's a great one. So how are we feeling about that?
Woo!
Yeah! Do you think that people
excited.
are going to play this a lot?
Do what?
Do you, Casey, I'll start with you being the big Monarch guy. Do you feel that people are going to play this quite a bit?
Well, there's been a lot of buyouts, so I'd assume somewhere something's going on with Monarch.
Oh, really? There's been buyouts. I did not know that.
Yeah.
How much has the card already jumped to?
Copies. All the foil copies. Not necessarily Pantheism. It's a $4 card, but what is it? Domain of the Monarchs is like $15 for the super rare.
What? Oh my goodness.
To 5 or 6 themselves, something like that. The commons are.
I did not expect that. Wow. That is amazing.
So a lot of the stuff I was telling you about in private. I'll go ahead and share.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So Dogmatica. So yes, I understand you're not doing the lockout strategy with domain, but let's be real. Duster just came back. I mean, there's tons of ways to pop it.
Right.
So the realistic thing that they're doing is, well, I don't want to say they're doing. I'm going to do it with Dogmatica, and I'll play an extra deck, and I'll play Pot of Desire, or not Desires, Pot of Extravagance. And I'm just gonna max out on all the Dogmatica cards that you need in the extra deck. And then once those run out, then you can domain lock them. I've actually ran out online of my extra deck.
You're kidding me! Oh my gosh!
Yeah, so you can actually lock them. But outside of that, you're controlling them with doing Ecclesia and what's his name, Fleur, whatever.
Fleur de Lis.
Yeah, Fleur de Lis, and then you have Stormforth and Ether to play on your opponent's turn, bringing up the Curas to pop things. To make the deck even more consistent, you play 3 Magician's Souls because the Fleur de Lises can be sent to the graveyard. And then you can pitch your dead Monarch spell and traps like Prime Monarch and stuff, and then draw 2. And then now that Pantheism's at 3, like you can draw a lot of cards.
Oh my gosh. And I already felt I found ways to make the deck already run pretty fast in the past. Even with Pantheism at 1, I can't imagine, based on what you're sharing, how fast that deck's going to run. Oh my. Okay, we're going to have to play test that at some point. I got to see it. All right, Carlos, your thoughts on it?
So I'm actually really excited about this. Not for similar reasons, mostly because I wasn't actually I didn't play competitively during Monarch format, so I'm really excited to just jump into a deck I'm not super familiar with and kind of playtest it. Also, just off the top of my head, like Pantheism is probably, it has one of the coolest artworks in the game.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
In my opinion, it's like top 5 for sure. So
I'm
agree. Glad that it came off the list just for that.
I love this art. For those of you who can see this on stream, I mean, it's awesome, absolutely awesome. And I even like the artwork for the whole archetype, like, you know, even Prime and just all these other cards. I just really like the art in general. It's such a fun deck. Diabolus, how do you feel about it?
I didn't think it was actually going to happen, but they actually did it.
Me either.
I'm actually kind of glad they did it, but I'm also kind of salty at the fact that they didn't bring back any of the True Draco cards. Like, I would have at least wanted to see, you know, Dynamite Knight at 3, maybe True King's Return could come off a little bit.
Yeah, but that definitely would have helped. Absolutely.
I feel like Pantheism would be a good, viable draw engine for the True Draco stuff, which is why I'm kind of excited about it. Let me see, what's that card? There's a Monarch card, Return of the Monarchs. It can search Ignis Heat. It can search a plethora of other things.
Yes, it can.
And Draco's already used cards like March of the Monarchs and Monarchs Erupt to, you know, stun their opponent, you know, just make sure they don't play. So I feel like Pantheism of the Monarchs and the True Draco deck would really, you know, really help the deck, you know, kind of be at the forefront of the meta again.
Yeah, and I like the way you put that. In fact, I build budget builds with the True Draco cards that revolve around also the Monarch engine. So, yeah, that would have been nice to see Dynamite Knight come back to maybe even 2. Something that would have helped that just a little bit. So I like that perspective. Carlos, other things that you are thinking of that you're pretty excited about that we haven't talked about yet?
Let me just, off the top of my head, Tour guide. There it is.
Tour guide, yes. Absolutely.
Also, Sky Striker players got Widow Anchor back to 3, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's interesting that you bring that up. What do you think about that?
I don't think the deck's going to do anything. I think it's cool that it's back at 3.
Yeah.
Boo. Also,
why are you saying boo there, Casey?
I've never played Sky Striker, so you can't boo me.
I didn't play it. I just know about it, and it seemed bad. I didn't like it.
Well, the problem was it wasn't Widowmaker. It was damn, what was the other card? The one that lets you draw a lot?
Engage.
Oh, Engage.
Yes, I hated Engage.
Engage into
Drove
Engage
me
was the problem.
insane.
If that card ever comes back to 3, I list my stuff on eBay.
Yeah, and something we didn't mention actually, Machiura the Destructor actually came off the list, all the way from Unlimited. I know it's not going to do any, or all the way from Forbidden. I know it's not going to do anything because it's getting an errata, but it's just something I thought we'd mention real quick.
Wait, which one?
Machiura the Destructor. The Machiura the Destructor. It's the card that lets you, when it's sent to the graveyard, you can activate traps from your hand, and like people were looping it to like. Basically, they played all the draw trap cards.
Oh, I didn't know what this was. Yeah, so I'm glad someone's talking about this. Okay, so how did this work again?
Exodia first turn. Easy. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, this is broken.
Oh, well, don't worry, it got an errata.
Oh, I was going to say, because I'm looking at this. During the turn, it was sent to the graveyard. You can activate trap cards from your hand. So before that, was it just if it was in the grave?
Yeah, if you could find a way to get it to the grave, you would basically have the perfect draw engine.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because I'm thinking of like Reckless Greed and like all these cards that you can suddenly activate from the hand on that turn.
The FTK was Exchange of the Spirit.
Was it?
Oh, yeah. That would make sense. Yeah.
Because you get whatever the requirement was, but now it doesn't matter because it's been errated. But back in the day, the Machiura combo was to get your graveyard filled for whatever it requires. You then play the Exchange of the Spirit. They have no deck, and you pass.
Oh gosh, that would be just broken. Jiminy Christmas. Well, I'm glad there's a change. I think that's a good thing. That definitely is a very good thing. How about you, Diabolus? Any other thoughts?
On Machiura? No, not really.
No, just in general for the list. Any other thoughts that you have?
I'm kind of confused as to Ivagishki. Dust Kraken coming off. I'm kind of confused on that. I don't really know why it came off, what they could possibly be selling by. Taking it off. Maybe they're trying to sell ice barriers. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I do like that. I do like that. The Sky Striker Widowmaker came off the list. Now, I'm not a Sky Striker player, nor do I really like Sky Strikers. But I am thinking about using them in appliances because it could be potentially pretty good.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, as far as the list, I'm okay with the list. There's some things that they missed and should have, nipped in the bud while they had the chance. But overall, I'm okay with the list.
So, I really don't understand why if Agishi Ghost Kraken came back to 3, because it's super degenerate.
Yeah.
Because the new Drytron archetype lets you ritual summon from the graveyard if you have monsters whose attack is greater than the attack of the ritual monster. So literally, Ghost Kraken can be in the graveyard if I'm interpreting the archetype correctly, and you could ritual summon it and just loop your opponent's hand continuously.
Oh no! I don't want that. No.
Who needs a hand?
It also adds power to water decks. If you really think about it, it really does add a lot of power to water decks because they were already looping stuff out of the hand with Moon and Glacier, but now they have something else to rip stuff out of the hand.
See, and I don't like ripping out of the hand. I don't like that at all. I've never liked that. Oh boy. Okay, KC, thoughts you have? Any other things we should probably discuss?
Okay, so yes, but it was because I failed you guys on the last, one of the last questions that I was asked. So the replacements, what are people on?
Oh,
I totally spaced Plague Spreader Zombie.
Yes, I forgot to mention that too.
Yes. I was thinking about this myself, actually. This is such a good card. Explain to the audience why this is so good.
This is Jet Synchron 2.0.
Yes.
So basically, instead of pitching the card to bringing it back, so what you would do with Jet Synchron is normal summon it, link it off your Link Karibo, pitch a card, bring it back. and then there's your needle fiber or Hulk Fibrax. Now with Plague Spreader, you normal summon it, you make all Mirage, and then top deck a card and bring back Plague Spreader, and there's your Hulk Fibrax.
Oh, and I'm just shaking my head over here. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Sorry, Carlos.
Also,
what was that? I missed what you said there.
I was saying they just really didn't think this list through very well.
No,
it feels rushed.
Yeah.
This is just very frustrating because if this is Jet Synchron 2.0, we truly have a Firewall Dragon situation with Needle Fiber. Because it's really just going to keep happening until they properly hit the right card.
So the other thing is Jet Synchron, sure, it had tuning, but Plague Spreader has Shiranui Solitaire.
Yes, that's 3 copies of it.
Mizuki, and the Mizuki and all this. Like,
yeah.
I can kind of see, like, not that it was popular, but, like, Lightsworn's doing something with zombies again.
Yeah.
Because if you mill the stuff, you just get a needle fiber for free.
Right.
So, something I just wanted to bring up, Solitaire special summons from the deck, so you couldn't go into the Almirage combo that way because it has to be normal summoned.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
If you could find a way to get it to the graveyard, though, you could still go into Needle Fiber.
Yeah, and actually, I'm wrong on that to begin with. So what I was trying to touch on is that Solitaire goes into Unizombie, which pitches him. That's what I was getting
gotcha.
Okay,
gotcha.
Yes. That is broken.
Yes. Because Solitaire has to bring out a tuner, well, I don't know if it has to be a tuner, but it has to be 0.
Yes, right.
So, Unizombie, Plague Spreader to the graveyard. It essentially accomplishes the same thing.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
Jeez, oh, Pete's. That is quite scary to think about.
Zombies are going to be gross.
Oh, I think they will, too. I already think they're very difficult when played right. That's a very strong archetype. And I haven't seen it using as much of the needle fiber stuff yet, just because Eldritch is so popular, even though I've seen decks that are more zombie versus Eldritch. But I think it's coming, especially now that you've had these hits. Yeah, that's a good point. Other thoughts, Casey?
So I would have. What was I going to say there? So with Tour Guide coming back, I would have really liked to see some sort of hit. I mean, granted, we don't have call by technically anymore, so I don't know. If it just gets Baylor or something, it's not really a big threat. But I just don't like the fact that Tour Guide into Sangan gets you the Anaconda, and then you get a hand trap to your hand, which now
absolutely.
Is way better than it was because call buys at 1.
Right.
Hey, at least they didn't unban Maxi.
Yes.
Now I agree
true.
with you. That card can't come off the list now.
Yeah.
Call by the Grave for 1? No way.
Yeah, no way. I agree. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, the Nobleman card, I get they're gonna sell the crap out of that. They're gonna sell Triple Tactics. I mean, it's already been bought out to heck and back. It's a $100 card again. It was only $100 on pre-order, I think, and then it immediately went down to around 60. But yeah. So I don't really have any more to add per se. I mean, the good part is we got Pantheism 3 and we got our Buster Dragons.
Yes,
2.
good point. Yes.
We got our nice things.
Yes.
But at what cost?
Yeah,
right.
The Thanos meme.
Yes, truly. Yes. I you guys bring that up. I just saw that on Twitter. It's like, what did we really gain? At what cost? Yeah. Good points. Good points. Well, guys, that is going to do it for us. Thank you guys so much for being part of the conversation, especially after dueling for several hours and then to be a part of the discussion. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks so much for having us.
And I loved it. Casey, thank you for also joining in. We appreciate that you were able to join us.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, hey, thanks, guys. And I can't wait for us to have another discussion together.
Of course. Look forward
Same.
All right. I'll see you later.
All right, guys, and that's going to do it for our post-ban list discussion. Please let us know what you think down in the comments below. I always love to hear what you guys are thinking when it comes to our discussions. If you like this video, please hit that like button, and we'll see you guys next time.
But I wait for your next challenge. I know that you